Hello and welcome back to the MD Investor channel where we're talking about personal finance. This is a channel where we are taking responsibility for our personal finance by increasing our financial intelligence and teaching our children so we can break the cycle of generational poverty. It's been a while since my last video, but as you can imagine, with everything going on, I've been pretty busy and haven't had a chance to keep to my regular posting schedule of the videos. But I figured today we'll do one. Don't forget to hit the subscription button, notification bell, so you'll be notified when new content comes out. If there's people out there you think could benefit from this content, let them know about the MD Investor. On YouTube, it's MD Investor. On Instagram, MD Investor 1. New videos, guys. Tips that we can use during this financial crisis. Tips that we can use during this financial crisis. First, let me say my condolences to people who are affected, not just health-wise, but financial-wise. This is a financial channel. Financial-wise, whether through furloughs, layoffs, hours cut, whatever have you, this too is going to pass, and we're going to get over it just like we got over 9/11, and just like we got over, not even got over, but moved past it in a certain way and have continued to live and survive. That's what I mean. But there are things and tips that we can learn from it. You like I said in previous videos, it's not just good things that you can learn from. You can also learn from bad things. So this is a bad thing that has happened to us, and we got to learn from it. But there are certain tips that we can use. Number one, all these companies out there right now are so willing and generous to help us. Say, well, if you've been affected by the COVID-19 situation, don't worry about if your bill is late. Don't worry about the interest payments and so on. So if all these companies are willing to be so helpful and supportive and all these things, why not ask the credit card company to lower your interest rate? We've been affected. You've been affected by the COVID-19 situation as a measure of like good faith. Why can't you lower my interest rate from 15 to 11 or from 18 to 13%? Well, what are they going to cost you? A phone call? What's the worst they can say? No. And if they say no, you're in the same situation as you are in right now. What do you have to lose? Absolutely nothing. So go ahead, call a credit card. Every single one of them. You have 2 cards, call both companies. You have 3 cards, call all 3 of them. You have 4 cards, call all 4 of them. Because even if they lower 2, 3, 4%, that's still $100 that you're going to save. Okay? Without doing anything, without actually having to work for it. Okay? And that money can be used better for something else. Okay? Instead of paying them interest and waiting, you can use it to do something better for your family. So call a credit card company, try to get your rate lowered. Number 2, while all this is going on, right? We are all coronavirus all the time. Don't get distracted. This is going to pass. As soon as the deaths start dropping and it's not big news anymore, and we're going to move on to the next story. Think about it. We stopped talking about Kobe Bryant because this knocked it off the front page. After the death starts going down and it's not such a big headline anymore, CNN is going to leave, all these news organizations are going to leave, and they're going to start talking about the first presidential debate, and they're going to move on. So don't get distracted, okay? Keep your eye on the goal. Keep focused that, I know this is going on, but I still need to invest because the prices are low. Extreme volatility. The market eventually is going to go back up, but while it's down, I need to buy. Everything is, not everything, but a lot of great companies now are lower than they had been before. 52-week lows, prices that they haven't seen in a while. Great, solid companies that have done nothing wrong. They didn't mismanage their accounting or books or anything like that. It's a natural disaster. It's a pandemic. But it's a bad thing, but you can benefit from it. If you don't know what individual stocks to buy the whole market. Buy a broad-based S&P 500 index fund or buy a total stock market index fund. Can't go wrong. You're buying a little piece of everything. Something like VTSAX from Vanguard is great. Something like VOO, S&P 500 index fund, great. VTI, total stock market index fund from Vanguard, great. Buy low, buy low, buy low. And when the market rises up, you're going to be very happy that you did. How many of us wish we can go back to 1994 when Amazon had its IPO, its initial public offering? I think it was like $24 a share. It's not $24 anymore. It's about $1,800. But you can't go back to 1994. You want to buy a share of Amazon now? You got to fork out about $1,800. 1994 was an opportunity, was a window that you will never see again. Amazon is taking off. Can't go back. I'm just saying that in 2022, 2023, when we were looking back at the 2020 was hard. Do you remember we were wearing masks and we were wearing gloves and people were out in the supermarket and you could get water and toilet paper and all this stuff? And it's gonna be like, oh yeah. It's gonna be in the background, and the market is gonna be up. The market's gonna recover like it always does. But what are you doing now? See, the people who are dominating now in 2020 are people who did actions back then. I was thinking about this the other day. I am where I am right now because of actions I did years ago. Focus, studying, and passing tests and all this stuff. And it's not an accident. It just basically follows, right? So people who are going to do well in 2022 are people who took actions in 2020. The people who are going to dominate in the next Olympics, all right, in the 100-meter dash and the 100-meter freestyle swimming, the Greco-Roman wrestling, are the people who are doing work right now. When nobody's around, they're doing work. Those are the people who are going to dominate in the next Olympics. People are going to do well on the next exam. People are doing the work, studying and doing the quizzes and all that stuff. You know how that is. Hard work pays off. Okay, so keep investing. Don't get distracted by all the noise. And the third tip we're going to say is, first let me say this. If you have a federal student loan, the government has now given you 6 months where your account is frozen. You don't have to make any more monthly payment to your student loan if it's federal. If it's a private loan, that's a separate situation. You have to deal with your lender. But if it's a federal loan, you do not have to make any more payments. And the interest are frozen. There'll be no interest. So think about that, guys. You don't have to pay another student loan if it's federal until October. So you have a 6 month window where the opportunity is there for you to really chop down that student loan. Imagine you owe something like $30,000. I think the average student loan is about in the $30,000. You owe $30,000 in student loan, federal student loan, at a say 4.5%, 5% interest rate. That's going to be about $3,000 per year in interest. That you would normally pay by $3,000 a year in interest. So for 6 months, that interest is gone. So meaning 100% of everything you would pay on your student loan during the 6 month time frame would go to the principal. Let me repeat that. Because the loans are frozen and there's no interest accruing, 100% of everything you would pay in your student loan, your federal student loan, would go toward the principal. That is awesome. I don't know if you realize how awesome that is. Because normally, when you pay your student loan, or any type of loan, a big a portion of it straight waste, goes to interest, straight waste. Only a portion of it goes to the principal to pay it down. But because of the COVID situation, your federal loans, 100% of it will go towards the principal for the next 6 months, interest free. But that's something every individual will have to decide for themselves. And this is the crux of the argument. My student loan is 4.5%, 5%. You think I have no interest right now. Everything I pay will go to principal. So I'm essentially saving the interest payment. I'm saving 4.5% or 5%, whatever my interest rate is. Is my money better spent doing that to get my interest, to get my principal down without paying interest? Or can I do something else with my money with a better return? So that's the argument. So, initially I was thinking, oh, it's a slam dunk. You have 6 months where you could kind of chop down your student loan without having any interest. It's a slam dunk. Go ahead and do it. I'm thinking, your interest rate, your student loan is 4.5%, 5%. Well, if I can dump that money, first of all, there's not going to be any penalty. It's not going to affect my credit if I don't pay because it's frozen and I don't have to pay. If I do have the money, can I just put that money in the stock market? Will I get a better return than 4.5%, 5%? Right? Because the interest, the return that I'm going to get on by paying my student loan is basically capped at whatever the interest rate is. That's how much I'm going to save. But the market, I can get probably more than that, right? If I am buying all these, buying the whole index, and then the market, goes up just tremendously, 20, 30% over the next year or two, it would have been better spent. So that's something you would have to decide for yourself. If you're a person who say, you know what, that's the stress of having this debt, it affects me, I just want to get rid of it, then maybe for you, it may be better to try to eat into your principal. If you're someone who says, you know what, I'm a strictly numbers guy, I'm not emotional, I want to go with what's the best rate of return, then you may want to maybe, since you don't have to pay for your student loan for 6 months, maybe invest in the market. So that's something, every individual have to decide for themselves. But it's something for you to contemplate, for you to think about, because the opportunity is only here because of what we're going through. Normally, the lender would not give you a 6 month grace period. Or, so that's what I'm saying is a bad situation, something good can come out of it. So guys, it's a quick video, guys, for you to kind of consider some financial tips to go through this crisis we're going through. Calling your credit card lenders to ask them to lower your rate. Continue to invest while the market is low and we can get a great bang for our money. And consider whether you want to pay for your student loans now that you have this 6 month grace period where there is no interest, or use the money to really pile up an investment. Everyone will have to decide for themselves. Again, guys, MD Investor here again to discuss personal finance and increasing our financial IQ so we can break the cycle of generational poverty and teaching our children. Continue to like, continue to subscribe. If there's people out there you think who can benefit from this information, let them know about MD Investor. On YouTube, MD Investor. On Instagram, it's MD Investor 1. And I will see you on the next one. Command your money to grow.